Hey, it's your boy Shawn Calvin on the Shawn Calvin Show. Got a nice show for you today. First thing we're going to look at is DOGE has cut 80,000 jobs out of the Veterans Affairs. So the VA will be cutting up to 80,000. And we're going to look at, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Let's watch.
So in the latest efforts to slash government waste, the Department of Veterans Affairs is looking to cut thousands of jobs. And Democrats do not like it.
They're going to gut the Department of Veterans Affairs, jeopardizing the health and well-being of millions of veterans.
I go to the VA myself, so I see every day the waiting lists, you know, the long lines to get care, how long it takes to get an appointment. All of that is going to get worse.
Cutting the VA and some of the proposals I've seen are going to hurt service to veterans. So let's agree that that's a bad idea, bipartisan. It's a bad idea to do that.
Really? But the administration says this move is necessary to get better, to get more efficient, and to get better treatment for the veterans. Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Doug Collins, joins us now, who also still serving in the reserves. Mr. Secretary, your thoughts about the Democrats who says it's wrong to cut back at the VA?
Let's take off what Ms. Logan just said. Let's all agree on something. That for the past 10 years, the GAO has reported that the VA healthcare has been at a high risk. In other words, they're high risk and on the high risk list for not only the possibility of fraud, waste, and abuse, but also in patient quality, patient care. This has been going on for 10 years. It's interesting to me that they're looking at wait times. These are things that have preceded me coming in. I've been here 4 weeks, but it's interesting that there's no solutions being proposed. President Trump brought generational change to D.C. and he's saying let's look at everything. So what we're looking at is if our system is on a high risk list, if we've had issues, and all that the government has decided to do lately is put money or people at something, then maybe we need to ask the better question is are we using our resources wisely and making sure that our department is taking care of the veteran, which is our only responsibility.
So my take on that is my heart goes out for the veterans and the employees at the Veterans Association because, I'm a veteran, so shout out to all the veterans out there. And also I know that every time I go into the VA, they're working hard. I don't see behind the scenes too much. That's on one hand, but on the other hand, we have to cut the fat, and we're believing that the Lord will provide new jobs for these people, because when he closes one door, he opens another. Now, we have Rubio and the USAID, the USAID program, is officially done for the purge, and they cut out 83% of the agency programs. So let's take a look.
Continuing with your Monday morning breaking news alerts, just in from the Associated Press, we're learning Secretary of State Marco Rubio saying on this Monday the Trump administration had finished its 6-week purge of programs of the 6-decade-old U.S. Agency for International Development. He goes on to say that he would move the 18% of aid and development programs that survived under the State Department. Rubio made the announcement in a post on X, marking one of his relatively few public comments on what has been a historic shift away from U.S. foreign aid and development executed by Trump political appointees at State and Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency terms. Rubio in the post thanked DOGE, saying, quote, I actually want to share that with you on this Monday. Take a look at your screen. Rubio says, quote, after a 6-week review, we are officially canceling 83% of the programs at USAID. The 5,200 contracts that are now canceled spent tens of billions of dollars in ways that did not serve the core national interests of the U.S. In consultation with Congress, we intend for the remaining 18% of programs we are keeping to now be administered more effectively under the State Department. Thank you to DOGE and our hardworking staff who worked very long hours to achieve this overdue and historic reform, end quote. Again, this coming from Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
Okay, guys, that was pretty easy. Saving $50 billion, cutting out the fat, and U.S. aid investigation has been complete. So let's take a look at Elon Musk. He has an interview here on Fox Business, and he gives us details about his approach and his success. Let's take a look.
How do you do it? Okay, how big is your team?
Yeah.
Where'd you recruit most of them from? And what is it that makes you choose, the Treasury or Social Security or USAID? How does it work? Let the public know, please.
Right. Well, we just basically follow the money. We look at the president's executive orders, and we also just follow the money. So we started looking closely at USAID because they were completely violating the president's executive orders to suspend foreign aid. What's called foreign aid, but in our view is a lot of corruption. So what we saw there is just a tremendous amount of money being sent to non-governmental organizations. But actually, this, by the way, is I think one of the biggest sources of fraud in the world is government-funded non-governmental organizations. This is a gigantic fraud loophole where the government can give money to an NGO, and then there are no controls over that NGO. So they've given billions of dollars, in fact, we estimate tens of billions of dollars to NGOs that are essentially scams. And
By the way,
trying to put a stop to that. So
I don't want to interrupt, but Secretary of State Rubio has just come out. I think he tweeted today. He has accepted over 80% of your recommendations to shut down in USAID.
Right.
So your review and analysis was spot on.
Yes. So I think when people criticize, say, what DOGE is doing, we say, well, which part specifically? Because we put all of the actions of the DOGE team on the doge.gov website and on the DOGE handle on X. So we post the receipts. So it's like this action has been taken, this action has been taken. So when we get criticism, we say, like, of what? Which line do you disagree with? Like which cost saving do you disagree with? And then people usually can't think of any.
No.
So
it's transparent line by line.
It's transparent line by line,
which is quite remarkable.
Right. And so, and then with respect to the Treasury, for example, the two main recommendations we suggested, which have now been implemented, was that any payments going out of the Treasury, especially the Treasury's main payment computer, which is called PAM, things like a payments account manager or something like that, but it's like almost $5 trillion a year, so about $1 billion an hour, that the payments be coded with the congressional appropriation, and that there be an explanation for the payment. Very basic stuff. And just doing that, we estimate will save $100 billion a year.
Ooh. You're not really, let me see if I get this right, particularly with Social Security, you're not really changing policy.
No, yes.
You're auditing the fiscal mechanisms to make sure that, from point A gets to point B, and that's where it's supposed to get to. In some cases, it doesn't get there, or in some cases, it may go over there. But that's it's not a policy exercise. You're not changing laws. You're just doing what any business would do in a profit and loss audit.
I think we're really what we're adding here is caring and competence, and there's a massive amount of fraud of basically people submitting Social Security numbers for Social Security benefits, unemployment, Small Business Administration loans, and medical, where those are fake Social Security numbers, or they've stolen somebody else's Social Security number, and we're trying to put a stop to all of that. And that's the number which is estimated to be on the order of 10% of federal expenditures, which is, half a trillion dollars.
So Elon Musk is obviously helping out the country tremendously. Here's another way he's helping us out with the astronauts.
Nothing to do with DOGE. Can you rescue the astronauts?
Yes, we're bringing them back in a few weeks.
There's not near enough attention being paid to this. You're going to get them back?
We're going to get them back.
God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you for all your service, Elon Musk. We appreciate it very much. Appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you.
You guys, it's such a pleasure to come out and spend some time with you today with this show. It's so encouraging to see our country turning around again, saving money, getting rid of the bad. The Democrats are not happy about it, but we are, and that's all that matters. So until tomorrow, hit like and subscribe. I'll be back at you. Thank you.